Yeah. You all roll, you already know it's the Galactic One, Illinois Al. We back cracking spells. Shout out to all the Galactic Guardians, 720 degrees. Shout out to the whole URO, everybody living in that universal right order. Shout out to the House of Consciousness, Connecticut chapter. This message being brought to you by K.O.R TV, Kingdom of Righteousness TV. The show is called Wake Up Sheeple. Y'all already know how we about to do. We about to jump right into the demonstration. God say to all the great prophets, ancestors, aiders, messiahs, messages who came before, making the platform available so we can be here today, giving you the message. I say, jumping right into the demonstration on this day of Sabekian Saturday, healthy energy, Saturnillian energy. We're going to talk about what is spirit. What is spirit? In order to be healthy, you have to understand what is the spirit. To be spiritually healthy, you have to understand what is the spirit. Most people will say that they're spiritual today. I hear a lot of talk about people say they're not religious, they are spiritual. And there is a difference between religion and spiritual. So to give you a breakdown on the root word of spiritual, which is spirit, we're going to dive right in. So what is spirit? Latin, spirati, which means to breathe. From the Latin spiritus, which means breath or spirit, down to Anglo-Norman French spirit. And in English, it would mean the non-physical part of a person, which sits at the seat of the emotions. So a spirit is the non-physical part of a person that sits at the seat of emotions. It is regarded as the soul sometimes, although there's a difference between the soul and the spirit. It can be regarded as one's true self sometimes, although there is a difference between the true self and the spirit. It is also capable of surviving after death. The spirit is also capable of surviving after the physical death. Spirit involves an attitude. You have to carry a certain spirit. That's why they say he's in a certain spirit, because of his certain attitude or his certain mood. It involves a mood or an attitude when a person's carrying a certain spirit. When a person's down-spirited, you can see their mood is down. That's because spirit links to the word spirati, which means to spiral up or to spiral down. That's what all atoms are doing. The law of vibration states that everything is in motion, all things are moving. And so as these atoms and these cells we have in our body, they are spiraling, they are rotating, they are moving, they are spirits. And if you take it to the British sense of the word spirit, you will get a distilled liquor, a distilled liquor such as brandy, such as gin, such as rum, such as whiskey. It is also fuel for aviation once it's distilled. See, spirits can be aviation spirits, you see, to help things fly. From a verbal sense, it really just means to convey rapidly and secretly. To convey rapidly and secretly. This is why they have high spiritual movements in the Illuminati, because they're doing things secretly, right? They're hiding the truth, right? And so in the Greek, you get from the root word, how we say pneumonia, pneuma for breath. This is where pneumonia comes in, because it's tied into the lungs, which is a Greek word for pneuma, right? Which means breath. In the Hebrew sense of the word, or Aramaic, should I say, it would be the ruach, right? You have the ruach of the Elohim, and then you have the ruach of Yahweh, right? These are two different types of spirits. Remember, Elohim was plural, so you were talking about a sense of gods there, as Yahweh as being a particular individual Elah, right? And then you had the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, right? And so remember, they taught us in the Christian sense of things that there was a holy trinity, although we know there is a holy quantity, which means four. You know what I mean? Which means four. What happened in Christianity is they broke it down to three, and they took out the feminine aspect. There is no feminine principle there in that aspect when you say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. There is no woman. The quadrant that we had, we had the Father, the Mother, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You see, so it was four in its origin. So that's a part of breathing truth, right? And so human spirit would be, in humans, the spirit would be extraordinary. It's extraordinary. It's incorporable in the Bible. It's also dealing with teaching. So to be spiritual doesn't necessarily mean, you got to be this person floating on clouds and all of that. Anybody who basically encourages another person or spiritually, teaches them, enlightens them on their path is basically spiritual. It deals with supernatural, also malevolence. Also malevolence is malevolent spirited beings. It's an extraordinary force that embodies a remarkable array of qualities, right? It deals with the psyche. And from the Oxford, they have it broken down to where there's 4 different types of spiritual systems, right? And you would have the mystical as one form of being spiritual. You would have the practical, which is another form of being spiritual. You would have the prophetic, which is another form of being spiritual. And then you would have the ascetical. The ascetical aspect. The ascetical aspect is more like the Buddha monk type of shit, where you're not dealing with the world, you're cutting off the world type of shit. The mystical is more of you with the highest. You're in tune with all of the world, The practical is more of you just dealing with the realness. You ain't got time for all the stories and the theories and all of that. It got to be kind of factual, and you just deal with the practical, actual, factual things that benefit you. And for the prophetical, it's more dealing with prediction and foretelling. Prediction and foretelling, most of it is divinely inspired. Remember, inspired, spirit, inspired. So divinely inspired, godlike inspiration is how the people obtain the prophetical spirituality, right? So to be spiritual is just a connection to self, to others around you, to nature, and to transcendency. And that sums it up in a nutshell when it comes to spirit. So to be spiritual is to basically breathe holy breath. Breath is sacred. This is why we say it's holy breath, because your breath is sacred. And so you want to speak truth every time you talk, because the truth shall make you free. Not set you free, but make you free. So always remember to use the holy breath, and be mindful that your breath is holy and sacred, and life is determined by how many intervals of breath you take per minute. So if spirit ties into breath, and we out here wasting our breath, then we wasting our spirit. When we talking and saying senseless conversations and stuff like that. So it's important to be mindful how you use your spirit, your breath. And remember that it's holy and it's sacred. It's been another galactic glorious day of health. Y'all traveling in harmony. Peace.